of Time show. Go check out that show. It's a great show. It's a great show.
New York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what, guys? We won again. 7 in a row. Knicks beat the Wizards. 132 to 101. Contributions from a bunch of places. Josh Hart had 4 points, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds. OG Anunoby gave you 19 points, hit 3 of 6 from 3. Cat had a whole 30 points, 15 rebounds game. Mikal Bridges had 23 points. Brunson had 21 points. And Shamit had 14 points. And we're going to talk about it all. The good, the bad. There was no bad. There was no bad. There was no ugly. It was all good, damn it. It was all good. An easy, breezy win, just like we expected it. We're going to talk about it all right. Before we do, I'm going to introduce you to my peoples. First and foremost, it is the Latin Assassin, ESPN contributor, posting contributor, Bleacher Report contributor, my guy, Lee Escobedo. What's good, Lee?
KOT family, let's go! 7 in a row, baby. 7 in a row. Shout out me, the motivator, who saw the turnaround. Shout out Jay Ellis, who saw the turnaround. I did not, but I'm a believer now that the Knicks have refined their issues. And we're on a hot streak, baby. Also, major shout out to the KOT family, the chat. Y'all were 700 deep today for the mid-season trade deadline show. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for the super chats, the 10 subscribers, and the almost 1,500 views now on YouTube. Hours later, we appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. And also, sorry, little typo on Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm a little tired. Sorry, my bad, guys. He had 19 points. He didn't have 30. He had 19 points, 14 rebounds. All right. Of course, you already know, man. Mr. NBA economy himself. Mr. Pitchforks and Calculators, my guy Fritz Alessandro was good.
Hey, what's up? We went from losing 9 out of 11 to 7 in a row. So we did some improvement from within, but it's that time of season where you get other improvements from elsewhere. So let's go.
Exactly. If you haven't figured it out right now, Fritz is on the panel today for a reason. And the reason is we're going to talk about this Knicks versus Wizards game for about 3.5 good minutes. And then we're going to go and talk about a lot of things that people want to talk about, which is the NBA trade deadline and the moves that have been happening and what that could mean for the Knicks and the future. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this 3-minute breakdown from this Knicks Wizards game. All right? But listen, Knicks did what they're supposed to do, man. Contributions from everywhere. The defense was there. The only thing is, damn this third string bench, all right? Bro picked the third string bench, all right? Because we were supposed to hold this team to under 100 points, and they gave up 101, so I'm ready to trade everybody now. I'm sorry.
Not looking at the clock and nothing.
Yeah, they didn't bring out the clock, left a 3 at the buzzer. Like, they got to go now. I'm sorry. They got to go. But you know what? A lot of good to see today. Knicks moved the ball for sure. Knicks played for each other. Knicks passed the ball. I think they had over 30 assists today. Karl-Anthony Towns got a little bit loose on the offensive end. That's really what I wanted to see. Pretty straightforward win. I want to give you your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the win today, Lee.
Knicks played 12 guys. And looking at the stats, every single player that played had an assist for 34 assists total. Anytime the Knicks scored 30 assists in the Tom Thibodeau era, we were like, wow, that's one of the best games of the season. And now we do it with fair amount of ease. We beat the teams that we should. Not only do we beat them, we absolutely smack them. The Knicks, unquestionably, a top 5 team in the NBA right now. Very liked, a lot to love. The opponent, though. Let's talk about the opponent and just, keep it in context. Yes, we have won 7 in a row. The Washington Wizards probably had the second worst roster in the NBA after the Brooklyn Nets. Nets clearly have the worst roster. Clippers might have the worst roster here in about a week. But right now, Washington Wizards don't have a lot of talent. They have a lot of guys with upside. And shout out Alex Sarr, who's an elite defender at Carl Anthony Towns. That's what he cooked tonight in post-ups and seals. So shout out Cat for showing how versatile he is. And it's an elite defender, 7-footer, and Alex Sarr. But there were two things I liked the most of all. One, Jordan Clarkson hustling on defense, trying, right? So maybe Mike Brown can remember that when it's playoff time and we need someone to step up off the bench. You can have a little bit of trust that maybe he'll at least be active in the communication. I thought he was a part of that baseline new steam where they're trying to funnel things away from the middle and more toward the baseline as a third defender with those traps. Yeah. Shout out Tom Thibodeau, the ice, which really came into form during the Celtics run when he was the defensive coordinator, and also a 3-point shot by Ariel Hotporty. That's probably the one thing. That element's the one thing that would make me say the Knicks should commit to him. I'm not as out on him as I am Pacome Dadier. I think everyone's out on Dadier. That's
yeah. I think Ebony might even be out on Dadier. We haven't talked to Ebony about it in a while.
I'm also out on Ariel Hotporty. I think we got to move on from him. I like Trey Jameson as a prospect better than Hotporty, but if he can shoot that 3, I might reconsider because it is nice to have those Thomas Bryant type guys that can come in and knock down a couple threes when you have diverse lineups out there. And if we do end up making a move or losing a piece in the front court, I think then you might want to consider keeping him on that very minimum deal that he's currently on. Fritz, does he have another year on his contract?
Who is it?
Hotporty.
Oh yeah, Hotporty has another year.
Okay, yeah, then it's not. I mean, if you don't end up using him as filler, okay, but I don't see a need to definitely just drop him for the sake of it because if he can hit that 3, I think he makes this interesting. But hey, man, Knicks are rolling. We blew them out, blew the doors off of them. The defense looked good. I liked how the effort stayed consistent throughout the entire game, even if we were up by 30 or 40. These are all positive signs. The guys are bought in and they're respecting the opponent no matter who it is on the other side of the floor. It gives me more confidence going into this upcoming stretch of the Denver Nuggets, the Detroit Pistons, Boston Celtics. All right, let's see what we got in a week or so.
Yeah.
Actually, this Hotporty needs a new contract next year. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, he might be gone.
Then he might be gone, right?
Yeah, he's probably gone, most likely, I would think. But like I'm kind of different about Hotporty. If he stays, he stays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm kind of like whatever. The 3-point shot, yeah, that's nice. Like I almost feel like he's regressed his offensive game and gotten a little bit better in his defense. It's interesting. Like I think that the thing that made him stand out last year was like he had a nice little touch, like a nice little floater around the rim. We started calling him like a little bit of Black Hartenstein, even though Hartenstein is black. I started calling him little Black Hartenstein last year because he had a little floater around the rim, but that just seems to completely have disappeared. But for now, what he seems to have is like some nice timing on block shots and some chase down blocks. But like I'm either or on Hotporty. I have no strong feeling whether he stays or goes. The one thing I will say about this game though, like the good was the effort was there for 48 minutes, no matter who was in the game. Jordan Clarkson also, like you said, showed some effort, played some defense. The bad, actually, Josh Hart tweaking his ankle in the third quarter when we have a back-to-back tomorrow. Oof, that kind of sucks.
And Diawara.
Yeah, and Diawara. Both suck. I'm more pissed about Josh Hart being out, knowing he's going to be playing big minutes, and we're going to need him for these upcoming games. Hopefully, it's nothing crazy. He walked out on his own power, even though it was a limp. So that's a good sign. It probably means it's not going to be like a long outing, but you just want to have all those hands on deck, knowing you're not going to have Deuce, most likely, knowing now we're not going to have Diawara. We just like have that other wing there. So it's kind of sucks that he might not play tomorrow. But also Diawara, man, I was really looking forward to seeing Diawara play like 30 minutes today. He had a nasty crossover. I was like, woo, when did you get a crossover, D? When did that come? The crossover into the layup was nice. The 3-point shot in the corner looked smooth. The dime past the corner was nice. I really liked his short minutes before he got injured. It sucks that he got injured as well. But man, the OR looked like he's got even more comfortable today. Maybe so. I like that, but it kind of sucks that we lost both of the players today.
Yeah, he seems to be leveling up every time. Every time he comes out, he adds a little something.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the nice thing. Also, when he went out, I said, "Oh man, Yabusele is going to be have to playing," but they kept him in bubble wrap.
The trade must be close. Trade must be close. They're like, no. We got a deal lined up. So I don't know. But yeah, other than that, man, great game. Great game for Karl-Anthony Towns to kind of set the tone and score. Great game for Cap to kind of keep the ball moving and score in spots. Great game from Cal Bridges to only miss one shot and stay aggressive and attacking the basket. Great game for OG Anunoby to continue dunking on everybody's heads with two hands, up to probably 23 dunks in these last 6 games. Great game for the entire team.
Shout out Gamer Channel with the $5 super chat. He says, Wizards broadcast, love them some Ariel Hutporty. Crisp pocket passing by Kolek and Dylan Jones. A Dylan Jones shout out. All right. Clarkson got some burn, 14 points. No Yabu, thinking emoji, laughing his ass off emoji. Gamer Channel, man, definitely a top 5 KOT in the chat supporter. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for helping keep the lights on. Another $2 super chat from Gamer Channel. My fault. Clarkson had 12 points. Salute KOT fam. That in total is about $15 that we got today.
Nice.
Loyal fans that definitely help with the StreamYard costs, all that stuff. The verified Twitter account for Jay and leveling up everyone's backgrounds and lighting. So we really, really appreciate that, guys. It means a lot.
Definitely means a lot. All right. And Felicia Lee says that if there's any consolation, Denver is on a back-to-back as well. So
they lost the Pistons too.
And they lost to the Pistons. Things that make you go, so they might be pissed because they lost 2 in a row so far. So let's hand them 3, damn it. Let's hand them 3. All right. Anything else you want to say about this game before we talk about the NBA trades?
No, go ahead, Fritz.
No, I think we have been on a winning streak, and I like that there wasn't a lot of reverting back to letting teams back in.
Yeah,
Knicks had a lot of killer instinct when they went down. They went down. Like they didn't ease up. That 30-point lead didn't become a 10-point lead that had to go back up. So they were very consistent in their effort today.
Great take, Fritz. Agreed. I'll add on that I think this team, from a lot of fans are saying, and even more than fans, outsiders, people on ESPN and various podcasts are saying that this Knicks team should not make any major moves and keep his team in place. Don't go all in for Giannis. Don't even trade any of the bench pieces like Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, or Deuce Bride. What do you guys think? Do you think this team is a team that should not be broken up before we get into what the trades that did happen and what it means for us? Do you even think that we should make a trade, or is this team giving you that passing the eye test that can win shit?
If you asking me, I think I've kind of probably been really consistent this year when I say I do not want to trade for Giannis at the deadline. I actually want to see what this team does. And in reality, I like a team that has depth. I've said this a lot of times. This new NBA, you need depth in this new NBA, especially when you're looking at how the OKC Thunder won their chip last year, and how the Pacers were right there with them before Halliburton got down. You need depth in this NBA because of this new CBA. So when you're gearing up to make big trades, you have to really be cognizant because you can't just reload like old teams used to, where you just keep going over the apron a little bit and sign this guy off the waivers and sign this guy off the waivers. Like that's the old guard. You can't do that no more. So I'm definitely one of the people who've been like, you know what? I want to keep this team together for the bare minimum until after this playoff run, bare minimum, and then see what we have after that. So I'm cool with staying pat and making little marginal moves.
Fritz?
I think unless it's an absolute gift, don't do it. Unless it's an absolute gift where, hey, someone just wants to match salary and they give you something unexpected. That's one thing, but going somewhere and like tearing up the core for a marginal improvement isn't the way to go.
I would say I'm against a James Harden type move that we saw today, or any of the other moves that we saw where it involves a starter or a rotation player. I'm against, unless it's a player who's won a chip already, like Kawhi Leonard or Giannis. Then you should go all in. Not saying Kawhi's available, but the Harden trade might make them available. And we are in the Giannis discussions right now. And not only that, they're in the back and forth, like counter moves as well. So we should be in that discussion. But I agree with the panel. We should not cross the line that Leon has in the sand and give up everything to where you have Brunson, OG, Giannis, and nobody else. Right? I'm not into either. But we should definitely be involved, and we are involved in those negotiations.
Yeah, and especially considering like we have 0 first-round picks right now. So we are just at an extreme disadvantage. Like, and the other crazy part too is like between the 0 first-round picks, Cat having a down year, and Mikal having a down year, it makes it even that much harder to go in for a move for Giannis, because now everybody's looking at our situation going, who are the guys who can give you picks? It's like OG, Deuce, Brunson. I guess you can get some from Mikal too, but it's like his value is down a little bit. So it's like it's a tricky situation to even try to make a move right now. That slump what came at a weird time.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Fritz, I feel like I'm reading Fritz's face. It looks like he just read some breaking news or something.
No, I just saw like a looks like Diawara kind of did come back out.
Diawara.
No, like he they said he went through warm-ups at halftime.
He went through warm-ups at halftime. Okay.
That's not that serious.
Okay. So that means worst case scenario, Josh Hart isn't able to go, or at least have a wing who can play defense off. Okay. All right. That's not as bad. Not as bad. Good to know. All right, yo, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Knicks, Knicks fans, NBA trade deadline is in a couple of days. It is the 5th. The 5th of February. February is the Knicks NBA trade deadline. As far as I know, that's not really know. The Knicks have not made any trades yet. I think everybody and their mama is on Yahoo watch. But while the Knicks have not made a trade move as of yet, other teams have been, as Clyde would say, moving and grooving. All right. And the first big trade that happened today that I got Elias Cabito covered earlier today was a trade that kind of shocked a lot of people, made by the Memphis Grizzlies. Especially me, because I never really felt like Utah was in the buying mode, but it seems like Utah decided they want to buy, which is interesting. And so the Memphis Grizzlies, they trade their star power forward in Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Concher, Jacques Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, and Taylor Higgins, and George Niang, and future first-round picks. So I know a lot of people were thinking, like, why the hell? Why the hell were such less? How come there wasn't that much talent giving to the Memphis Grizzlies for Jaren Jackson Jr. for one? And what's going on with slow-mo? Because I feel like every Knicks fan is like, things that make you go, can we get slow-mo here on the cheap? But generally, I want to get your thoughts. First, Lee, who had a show today, I want to get your thoughts on that Jaren Jackson Jr. trade.
Appreciate your gaming channel. Appreciate the love. I try my best to hold down the fort solo. Also very honored that Jay trusts me enough to be able to run a show and not burn down the house or say something appropriate and talk. Give insightful analysis as well. So appreciate that. And yes, I absolutely. Kyle Anderson was absolutely a target that I talked about in the show hours ago. He was my number one dream target. I said that if he was bought out, we could not get him via trade because of how much he makes. He makes around like, I think, $8 or $9 million, which means we have to aggregate the 3 contracts that Fritz has always commented on, that we don't have enough to sign the 2 under the CBA that we would need to fulfill those contracts. So he's not a trade candidate. And I also said on the show, I think he will have other suitors go after him via trade. The likelihood of a buyout, Mike Conley buyout, absolutely going to happen. And I talked about that too. But a Kyle Anderson, very unlikely. But damn it, if he does, that is almost a 1-for-1 Yabu upgrade. Everything that Leon Rose wanted out of Yabu, Kyle Anderson can give you. Playoff history, check. Can guard in any kind of defensive scheme, zone, ball switch, check, because he was a part of the Minnesota Timberwolves elite defense when he was there with Karl-Anthony Towns. Chemistry with Towns, it's a 4 or 5, check.
I forgot about that.
Even be able to be used pinch post, elbow, a little bit of a hub, check. Ability to play with 3, 4, and 5 in spot minutes, check. I mean, I didn't. He's shooting 48, 49% from 3, I think, on 0.03 attempts. So that's the one not real part about it to me, is the stretch shooting. It's always been attributed to him. He's not really a stretch shooter. He doesn't really take it. It's like I heart numbers, right? It's like, oh my God, he shoot 3? Yeah, but will he? No. But he out everything else. And I would even say he's a stronger ball handler and a better decision maker than Dursan Yabusele as well. I think Anderson would be in the rotation on day 1 if we were able to sign him. Now let's talk about the trade. I'll be very brief because I've talked a while. I think the Utah Jazz have the second best young core now after the San Antonio Spurs. In terms of ceiling and floor, Utah is cooking. Ace Bailey is a guaranteed number 1 option. You'd have Bryce Sandoval. You'd have 4 unbelievable 7-footers and Walker Kessler and Kyle Filipowski, Lauri Markkanen, and now Jaren Jackson Jr. Holy hell. That is an incredible front court. They just need Isaiah Collier to be that lead guard, and they're cooking. And we got Keontae George. Walter Clayton Jr. was having a hell of a year. That's really the prize in that package back, plus the 3 first-round picks. But Utah has so many first-round picks from Minnesota and Cleveland when they broke down the Donovan Mitchell team. They're unbelievable. They're going to get a top 10 pick this upcoming year, too. Utah will be a contender in 3 to 4 years, and they'll be running the West along with San Antonio.
Whew, strong words. And it's funny because I felt like they were on the edge of dealing Walter Kessler Jr. for a long time. And even Lauri Markkanen, I felt like he was like, oh, yeah, he's going to be traded soon for picks. He's going to be flipped soon for picks. And maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, this kind of changes things. Fritz, what are your thoughts, especially on the likelihood of a Kyle Anderson buyout? Do you even see that happening? Do you even see a trade happening? I know this, for guys who don't know, this is our numbers guy. This is our cap guy on KOT show. He lets us know if you're bugging or not. And he told us about ourselves in the group chat today. He's like, are you kidding me? That would never happen.
Kyle, if he can come to a buyout agreement, it can happen. It's not usually immediate. That kind of takes time. Because he does have a 2-year contract. He's not expiring, where they just say, hey, go walk. But so most likely they'll ask for a little bit of money back. I think Kyle Anderson would be a great addition to the Knicks. Of course, the Knicks would have to make room. It doesn't just happen. You can't just, not only you're trying to trade someone we have for someone less, but you have to have enough room where you can sign a Kyle Anderson to a minimum. So you need like at least 2.2 million, the prorated amount to put him on the roster. And the Knicks are at 14, and when we go in the playoffs, you're going to try to have that 15th player. So that's all stuff that has to be figured into signing him. As for the actual trade, I think both teams kind of benefited. Memphis went all out in signing Jaren Jackson Jr. to this extension this summer. It hasn't kicked in yet. So right now it's at $35 million. It's a bargain. But next year, he turns into a $50 million player. And then at $50 million, you spent a lot of time without Ja this year, and you're not even doing 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So like let's get off this. Let's get off him before he hits $50 million. It was good that they got 3 picks, but it wasn't 3 excellent picks that they got. So it's 3 first-round picks, but it's not 3 excellent picks. So I think they kind of both got a little bit out of it. But as far as Utah, they benefited from just having a lot of assets and a lot of versatility. They got a great talent. They can go in any direction they want, like this summer. I think they're going to be a danger when anybody wants to move elite player in the NBA. They'll be in the conversation.
I have a question for you first, though.
Yeah.
So, do we have to move? Do we have to trade somebody to make room for Kyle Anderson if he's bought out? Like, so we would have to kind of clear cap space. We have to like trade.
We have to clear cap space.
So we would have to like do something like trade Clarkson for a pick.
Like trade Clarkson for anything. Trade Clarkson cash. If anybody will take him. Perhaps we're probably looking at Washington because like Washington has cap space. Like, you know what I mean? Could you take 2 second-round picks? Could you take 2 second-round picks to take this off our books?
Ooh. I don't want to do that. I don't want to give, well, at least not Washington's own pick back. I don't want to give them one of their own.
No, but they have a lot of caps. They have a lot of cap space, like 30 million before even the tax.
All right.
So like, up until Thursday, I'm pretty sure you're going to hear Washington over and over again, just collecting seconds.
Well, as long as we're not trading their picks back, then I would consider that. Like,
yeah,
I would consider that because then we trade Clarkson to them. Then Clarkson probably get bought out himself. We would get we bring in a slow-mo here, and then we actually would have a power forward. Now he's not having the numbers that he did last year, but it's kind of to be expected. This is one of those things where you hope that he gets back to form once he gets back with the winning team type of thing. Yeah. All right. Anything else to add to that, Lee?
Make it made sense. 1967 says Saddiq Bey or nobody else. Point blank. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. Haven't seen you do a donation before, so your first one, really appreciate that. Every penny matters when it comes to holding down the fort. Saddiq Bey or nobody else. Point blank. That's a tough take. That's a heavy one. I personally, I don't know if I would agree with that. I'd rather have Kyle Anderson for free than trade for Saddiq Bey. Or maybe it's not for free because Fritz just said it takes 2 second-round picks to get off him. I'd still rather have that than trade valuable assets for Bey because Bey has competition. Everyone knows about Bey in the NBA. All the contenders don't want to add him because of his single-digit salary, $6 or $7 million. Detroit, Orlando, who doesn't want him, right? So that's going to take a haul. Maybe that takes Deuce. I'm out on that. I'd rather just do this to offload Clarkson and go get me slow-mo.
Yeah, I'm pretty. And don't we have to trade like Deuce to get Saddiq Bey here?
Deuce and
everybody else like Deuce, Gabu, Tyler.
It's tough. It's a tough trade to do. It's like the number is tough to hit. Like you have to go over the amount. Also, the reason why Pelicans are going to try to do a trade is that they're trying to just create tax space. So like it's going to be tough because they don't want more money to throw them over the tax. So they're not going to take a bunch of salary from us to push them back over. So you're going to have to add a third team and then you have to add picks. So it just keeps getting more complicated.
Understood. Which means it's not as likely as you think, pretty much is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you might want to. Yeah, I know it's Sadiq Bey or nothing, but you might want to move on from Sadiq Bey dreams because this is not likely to happen. Sorry to bust your bubble.
If Sadiq came here, I would think it would be a much bigger trade. Like something big went down, a core player got traded, and players are coming in and out. Like it wouldn't be a simple take our back of the bench player and Sadiq Bey come in. It's not that simple.
Okay, all right. We're gonna go on to the next trade, but before we do that, I'm gonna introduce you to guy Ryan G in the building.
Oh,
yes,
Ryan
sir.
G.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How's that Wi-Fi, sir?
I think the problems are fixed. So I think my computer should be good tonight. It should be good.
All right, super chats went to Ryan G's Wi-Fi. Thank you guys for helping. All right. All right, another trade that went down that I would like to get your gentlemen's thoughts on is Chicago, a 3-team trade, man. Woo. We have Chicago, Minnesota, and Detroit have agreed to a multi-team deal that sends Jaden Ivey and Michael Conley Jr. to the Bulls. Okay. And Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. Sources tell ESPN. Detroit also receives 2026 first round protected swap from Minnesota. Things that make you go once again. Yo, it's funny. I had flashbacks of the Knicks trying to trade up for Jaden Ivey and them saying no, only for them to unload them like a couple of years later. Very interesting. But yeah, gentlemen, Ryan G, what do you think of that trade since you're newly here?
Well, I do think for the Bulls, them getting Jaden Ivey does probably signal one of Kobe White or AU or AO Dosum was going to probably be out the door because they had logjam at the guard position at the moment. So I do expect the Bulls to trade one or both of them by the trade deadline, because I think them bringing in Jaden Ivey means, they probably see a future with Jaden Ivey. So that's the Bulls side. The Pistons side, they do need shooting, so I understand them getting Huerter. I don't really see it making a huge difference within their team. Their team is still strong regardless. Even without Jaden Ivey, they're still gonna be a tough team regardless. Mm-hmm. But Huerter does help him out with the shooting and the spacing of the floor, so I understand that aspect of it as well. And I think the third part of that trade in Minnesota, I think they pretty much said that Minnesota's trying to open up themselves for a possible Giannis trade down the line by including themselves in that trade. So I think overall, I really don't know who the clear winner is in this trade, to be honest. But I mean, I guess overall it's just, the Bulls are trying to like retool. The Pistons are trying to add more shooting, and Minnesota's trying to set themselves up. They're trying to set themselves up for a bigger trade. I don't know why that was so hard to come out of my mouth, but it finally did. Pause. But yeah.
Lucky Ebony and B wasn't here. Oh man, now I agree. I agree on all fronts. I feel like this is one of those trade moves where you don't really know how it's going to land until the things start moving. Like Minnesota, you won't tell what's going to happen until Minnesota trade deadline, if they're even able to pull off a trade for Giannis, or maybe even in the summer with that. The Bulls are they're just shuffling their deck. It doesn't really mean anything for them right now. And then Detroit, I mean, as far as Detroit, I feel like it helps them a tick. I feel like it does help them a tick because they really needed spacing. And I feel like with or without Jaden Ivey, even though as talented as he is, I feel like they need more score, they need more shooting, more than they needed a player like Jaden Ivey's archetype on the team. So to me, it made sense for the Pistons to make that move and get a pick back for something else they need more later, for sure. What you think, Lee?
I think it raised Detroit's floor and lowered their ceiling. Jaden Ivey is someone who can take over a playoff game or a series and be the second best player. or he can be a player who can just kind of be non-existent in the course of a series as well. But I think that he was an X factor of sorts.
Yeah.
No one is going to call Kevin Herter an X factor. He is a know your role, play your role to the best of its ability, 3-and-D, and he's an underrated defender as well, an underrated passer as well too. Very constant off-ball guy in terms of staying active, but Ivy could be someone who tilts a series. This move actually really surprised me. Understand building. Ryan hit the nail on the head. I definitely understand adding the shooting to Detroit. Now you got Duncan Robinson and you got Kevin Herter. Man, that's like schematically very dangerous.
Right.
Bickerstaff. And Bickerstaff loved all of his shooters too. If you think about that Cleveland team that he had as well, very similar identity. But Ivy gave them something that they didn't really have otherwise on the roster, which is someone who had the ball in their hands and go get a bucket. After Kate Cunningham, they don't really have that guy. Their next best bucket getter might be Karis LeVert, and that's not a great second bucket getter.
Right.
I think he is better. Undersized, yes, but that's okay when you're playing with Kate Cunningham in the backcourt. So it was a little strange. I think it's a better fit with Kevin Herter, but I think they lost a little bit of extra oomph and firepower by getting rid of Ivy, especially for a return of Herter is also a little strange. You would think a lottery pick. Some of the Knicks fans like me was like absolutely wanted Ivy as a future point guard. To just hope for Herter and change is, I don't know. It also, as Ryan said, Ryan brings the stats and the facts. What the hell are the Bulls going to do with their 9 guards? They got 9 above average guards, and some trades are coming. And the Minnesota part of it all is I heard that Minnesota could, if they wanted to, could have gotten Kobe White in this deal, and they decided not to in order to keep things open and flexible for Giannis. So that bites him in the ass. If Giannis comes, it's not going to bite him in the ass.
Right.
But
they putting their chips in there.
Kobe White and Ant-Man that would
have been crazy.
Legit. So
yeah,
something to think about.
Yeah, I think all 3 teams involved in this trade probably have another trade in them before the deadline. So Bulls are very interesting. Like next year, they have a whole bunch of cap space, over $100 million in cap space. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring AD. They're pretty much not gonna do anything this year. Maybe they bring him if they can get him cheap.
I like that.
If they can get him cheap, get him on the roster, and then next year just see what they can do. But yeah, way too many guards, valuable guards, who are expiring. So like that doesn't make a lot of sense that you let a lot of talent walk out the door. So I think they'll be active still.
You're saying they're going to bring AD in hopes of attracting somebody else? That's what you're saying?
No, like they have cap space, but I think they'll get AD now, and then this summer they go, add some pieces.
Through cap. It's funny. I haven't seen people like I don't feel like big stars hit free agency anymore. So I almost feel like the big cap space thing is not even.
Yeah, it doesn't
matter anymore like it used to.
And then there's a limited amount of players, so you're going to be paying too much just to because it's burning a hole in your pocket. So,
right.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now. So I'm expecting them to make another trade.
Mark Stein, the most plugged-in Mavs reporter, been covering the team for almost 3 decades, has already signaled that Chicago is one of the teams interested in Anthony Davis. So Fritz hit the nail on the head on that one. Great analysis, guys. You guys are really cooking tonight. And it made sense for Dallas. What does Dallas need? A lead guard.
Yeah.
Between Brandon Williams and sometimes Nimhard, the rookie, they don't really have someone who can get their own shot or set up other guys up. Kobe White would be the perfect addition for that Dallas team. It's already an elite defensively, top 10 defensively. And for AD, would make sense for Chicago because if it works, you're in the playoffs immediately. If it doesn't, it's more of a long-term situation. We kind of just hold on to that salary to meet the CBA threshold because you don't really have too many guys that are making big money. It made sense in a lot of ways. And they also offloaded another player, which I'm sure we'll get to too.
Yeah, and this is the player I really want to talk about is freaking Mike Conley, man. Because Mike Conley is also involved in this deal. You already know the Knicks having Conley with some like a veteran experience guard to put in the back of the roster. I don't know, Fritz, what are you thinking is the likelihood that the Knicks actually bring Mike Conley into the fold and sign him off of waivers if he's bought out?
I think Mike Conley presents a good opportunity for the Knicks. Like, he isn't some guy you're going to put on the roster who wants to be here long term. Mike Conley might, finishes out the year. Mike Conley at most wants another year in the NBA. And I think you don't have to throw Kolek away if you add Mike Conley. Mike Conley could be a mentor and play a little bit and mentor. I think that would be a good position for him to be on the Knicks.
I agree, man. I would love Mike Conley on this team for the cheap. Especially if it's only going to cost us probably another, like I said, the bench piece, waiving in the bench piece and picking him up so we don't go over a trade deadline, go over to the apron. I would love Mike Conley here as an end of the bench piece. And like Fritz said, we don't have to really sign him. There's no real cap implications for it. And the thing about Kolek is, man, he's been our engine for a long time. Not our engine. He's been their best passer on the team for a long time. Now you have somebody else who can actually set up an offense for us. And, we don't have to – and Kolek can be the guy for years to come. Who knows? So it's to keep him in-house while adding somebody who can contribute today would be great for us.
His stats today, this year, he is 38 years old, 4.4 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 32% from the field, 32% from three, making $11 million, which pretty much guarantees no one's trading for him. So I do believe he will be bought out. Also talked about this on the show too, as a target. I'm out on this one though. The reason is because if you have to give up attached 2 seconds to either Clarkson or Yabu or Pacome, because all three have negative net value, I would do that for Kyle Anderson, who would fill the Yabu role, which Leon obviously cares about. Conley, it wouldn't even be guaranteed, I think, to be in the rotation. So I would not attach 2 seconds for a guy that might not even play and would probably just be a cat whisperer because they share time together in Minnesota. There's some value in that for sure. Cat maybe sometimes the optics look like he doesn't have anyone in his corner with the Villanova goofballs. So maybe you need someone who can be, in his ear and on his side that he feels like has his back, that's a grizzled vet. But would he play? That's where the picks really hold value, is when you did them up for someone who can immediately impact the rotation. I don't think Conley would, and I'd rather Kolek take those minutes anyway. So I would do that deal for Yabu or Clarkson for slow-mo, but I would not do it for Conley.
Me personally, I would need Fritz's help on this, because if Conley is bought out, can the Knicks add him to the roster, or is that not possible?
No, we would need someone to have to go, someone to have to be traded. So if team like Wizards, who have a lot of cap space, you can give them a Clarkson and say, hey, I don't want anything back. You just take the salary, and they'll do it probably for a pick or two. They'll do it. They're going to be doing that all week.
You know what, Lee? I'm changing my mind here.
All right. Well, yes.
I'm changing my mind here.
Yes. Since Fritz gave me some clarification on that, I would probably be against bringing Conley as well, because I don't think it's worth giving up a pick or two to bring in a player that is 38 years old. So, he's at the tail end of his career, and he probably is not going to get a lot of playing time over Kolek as well. And I would rather, and like Lisa, I would rather Kolek get those minutes anyway, because Kolek is young. Kolek is more, future, as opposed to Conley, which is, he's near the end of his career, basically. Yeah. So, me personally, I wouldn't be giving up a pick or two to bring Conley in, even if he does have a good relationship with Cat. I would rather bring in somebody who's going to make an impact.
Yeah. But one thing is that Kolek really doesn't have a mentor on the Knicks outside of Brunson, who really, before he came to Knicks, wasn't really a dedicated point guard. And this is finally a dedicated point guard that could probably mentor Brunson and him, because he's been a dedicated point guard for a lot of years.
It just seems like the juice is too much for the squeeze, or whatever the saying I just messed up is. Because like, okay, well, it's just hypothetically, right?
You
Okay.
said it right.
Hypothetically, we trade Yabu, we trade Dadier, we trade Clarkson, and we get back like somebody like who else has been in the news recently? Somebody like Nick Richards, right? We bring back Nick Richards. I don't know what his salary is, but in that scenario, we bring back Nick Richards because I'm hearing the Knicks want South Fred Katz. I think Fred Katz said the Knicks might be looking at the center. In that scenario, then would it be worth it to bring in Conley after he's bought out? Would the numbers work? Or I'm throwing too much at you at once.
Actually, the problem with Nick Richards is Suns don't want Yabu's second year. Yabu has an option for next year, and he's played so bad this year. He's probably going to take it. So they don't want to take that second year unless the Knicks gave him 3 seconds or something like that. And even then, you're going to need more room, more cap room to sign. Yabu's like 5.5. Nick Richards is 5. That's only $500,000 you gained, and you opened another spot.
If you, Jay Ellis, I want to follow up on your reference to the Fred Katz podcast. His exact words verbatim was that the Knicks would be willing to attach 2 to 4 second rounders for a clear upgrade. He said that has a 50% chance of happening. Mike Conley is not a clear upgrade over anyone on the roster. So I don't think that would fit what Fred Katz has heard, right? Now, that is just one person's intel. Doesn't mean that there's not a wider net that could be cast. But Katz is probably the guy I trust the most after Ian Bedley. And I think that upgrade is a very important word. Nick Richards is an upgrade.
Not clear.
Yeah, but Nick Richards is expiring also.
Yeah,
you're not getting multiple years out of him.
Nick Richards positionally is an upgrade over Yabu and Hutporty. Mike Conley is not Yabu an upgrade over any of the guards that we have in the rotation, including Tyler Tollett. So I don't think that would be someone that they would make that move for.
I'm not okay. I think I'm wording the question wrong. I think what I'm really saying is, if we trade for somebody else, can we then pick up? Can we then sign somebody also off of waivers? Not even necessarily Conley, but let's say
if we have enough cap space, we need enough cap space.
I think
right now we don't. Right now we don't have enough cap space.
Okay, so for another scenario, we do that for Nick Richards and Slow-Mo. Like, if we do that for Nick Richards, and then someone gets bought out, can we then bring in Slow-Mo? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It depends how much we're trading. It can't be Yabu for Nick Richards. This probably has to be Yabu and Pacome, who would probably have to go out the door.
Okay.
Yeah, Fritz is right, because Nick Richards is making $5 million and Yabu is making 5.5. So just that $500,000 wouldn't be enough to sign anyone the prorated amount. Certainly not Slow-Mo.
Got you. Okay. All right.
Limited.
Well, pardon?
I said we're very limited in options.
Yeah, which is what makes this trade deadline very tricky. Which is why I think, because Lee was saying for a while, he was saying that that Leon usually makes the first move, but I think we're not making the first move because of how limited our options really are. And yeah, exactly. I feel like we're looking at we're like the what do you call it? What do you call the birds who kind of skim off of dead carcasses after every
crows?
Yeah, we're like the crows of the NBA trade deadline right now. Yeah, the vultures. There we go. We're like the vultures of the NBA trade deadline right now. I feel like we're circling and we're just waiting for stuff to happen, so we can just pick up the pieces and put it at the end of our roster.
I'm pretty sure the Knicks got a trade set up just in case they can't move Yabu. Like, in case we can't move him, this is last case scenario. but they're probably looking for something positive right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure if it came down to Thursday 2 p.m. And nothing happened, I'm pretty sure they have something set up for Yavu.
So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Probably Sohan. I'm dead ass. Yeah, all right. Here's another trade that doesn't really necessarily involve a Knick directly, but it's just interesting because of what's happening within our own conference, right? So the Los Angeles Clippers are trading James Harden, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to the Cleveland Cavaliers, to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland in the second round pick. This is kind of interesting because I feel like, I don't know, when you talk to Cavs fans, I feel like Cavs fans sometimes want Garland to finish games more and take the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands sometimes, because Donovan Mitchell's sometimes how we accuse Brunson of shooting too much. I feel like Cavs fans do the same thing for Donovan Mitchell. It's like, damn it, we had some ball moving. Now you just going 1-0 everybody, and I wish you would give the ball to Garland. Even though Garland's kind of been touch and go this season because of his injuries, but like Cavs fans seems to kind of say that. Now they trade for a guy who is supremely ball dominant, and you're just wondering how the hell is this going to work. In one hand, you're just like, James Harden is a little bit more of a natural point guard than Donovan, but at the same time, he also likes to shoot a lot. And you wonder if there's going to be a clash there where they're just going to be like, pass me the damn ball. Because we already see what happened with him when the 76ers, when he didn't get the ball in situations. He just stood there and started to pout. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that situation.
I don't think the Cleveland Cavalier coach, Kenny Atkinson, is the right one for that dynamic. I don't think that he is the type of vocal leader that can make it all work. So I definitely have doubts there. On paper, this is a clear upgrade. James Harden is a better player than Darius Garland, always has been. Every single year they've shared time in the NBA, he has been the better player, including this year as well. And now I'm going to give credit to the haters and the doubters of this trade. Harden is one of the biggest playoff chokers in NBA history. That is absolutely a fact. Most of the time that has happened, say 9% of the time he's choked in the playoffs, he's been the best or second best player on the team. There's an argument that he might not be the second best player. He's certainly not the best, but it's close between him and Evan Mobley this year. Mobley has taken a step up offensively. You have to imagine he's also going to be unlocked with lobs the same way that Zubac had his best career year playing with Harden. I think Evan Mobley finally becomes the player he wants to be, averaging around 20 or 21 by next season with Harden. But Darius Garland is also not a playoff riser. Garland is someone who all 3 seasons he's been in the NBA in the postseason, he's averaged less points, shot worse from effective field goal percentage, and averaged less assists in the postseason than he did in the regular season. So he's never stepped up ever in a single playoff run. That's important to note. It's not like they traded their best playoff performer for a choker. They traded one choker for a meta choker. And I think it's going to depend on, is James Harden willing to augment his game and be the second option and give up the ball in crunch time to Donovan Mitchell, or is he going to continue to fight for supremacy? And that's really dictated, because I don't think Kenny Atkinson's the type of guy who can establish that role. It's going to have to be an understanding like LeBron and Wade had to have in 2010 to a much lesser degree, because neither of his players are them, but they both have their egos. So will it work? I think they're a better team they were before. ECF is very possible. Will they win a chip? Hell no. Will they make the finals? Hell no. They had to get rid of Jarrett Allen's bum ass because the lights are too bright in Cleveland. Send him somewhere back and move Mobley to 5 and go to the real wing. Then you can start saying finals. But I will admit the Cavs won. I think all 3 of our ops won their trades today. Detroit, Cleveland, and Boston, that we'll get to later.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. I feel like the ceiling is definitely higher when it comes to the Cavs, but it's like a big caveat. And it's funny because Kenny Atkinson got fired because they was bringing Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden before, and now James Harden is back. He gets his chance. I wonder if he'll get fired again in the offseason if he doesn't prove to be able to wrangle those personalities together. It's like, is this history repeating itself? I don't know.
That's hilarious. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
he would hate James Harden. He would hate Harden.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think James Harden, he chose the worst time to force out a trade. Like Clippers have been on a heater, and maybe he knows something that other people don't know. The scandal over there on the Clippers. If the NBA does come down, I wouldn't want to be on that team. Like, I wouldn't want to be on that team. Perhaps he knows something that we don't.
I think it's just what he does, though. I don't even know if he necessarily has to know something. Like, he's forced. Like, we don't, like, all-stars don't force their way out of teams much, but I feel like there's like two all-stars who continually do it, and that's James Harden and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, and they said that he did ask, like, he can't get an extension this moment, but I think he kind of asked already. Is that 2 year 80 coming? And I guess they didn't. Yeah, they didn't want to talk about it. Yeah.
Every time that extension starts to loom or something action, he's like, "Oh, you're not going to extend me? Well, move me." That's why I even said before, like, that free agency stuff, where it's like, "Oh, have cap space so we can sign free agents." Free agents don't even do that no more. They just force their way to where they want to be traded and then extend. Right. Like, I don't think we'll ever see a big free agency summer again.
Agreed.
Like, you just gotta have pieces. You just have to have tradable pieces. You have to have tradable pieces in your arsenal to upgrade now. You can't just have free cap space anymore.
With that in mind, I had a hot take. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm gonna say this super quick. You can respond to it or not. I think James Harden might last longer in Cleveland than Donovan Mitchell is. This is not a movie that guarantees Mitchell. Like, if this shit doesn't work, I think Mitchell's out. He's going to sign somewhere else as a free agent. Or he'll get traded when he says, "I'm not re-signing." I think Harden lasts longer than Donovan Mitchell does during this Cleveland championship window.
You know what? I can't see that possibly happening, but I might be one of the few that actually thinks that it can work out between Harden and Donovan Mitchell. I'm probably one of the few that thinks it can, because the thing with Harden is that Harden is a guy that's ball dominant. He is a guy that can, take a lot of shots at times and score the rock, but at the same time, he's a very good facilitator. And I think that with the Clippers, there were many games where he did take a step back to Kawhi and let Kawhi, do what he does and just be a facilitator at times. So I think Harden has the ability to do that. So I think Harden can take a step back and be like, okay, you know what? Donovan Mitchell got it tonight. Let me take a step back, be that point guard, let Donovan Mitchell take over the game or whatever the case may be. And I think Harden will pick his spots. And I think he did that a lot when he was with the Clippers. So I think it can work out between Harden and Mitchell. I think the issue with the Cavaliers is that even if it does work out, both are terrible defensively as point guard. I mean, both are terrible defensive guards, and that's gonna be the main issue, because it's like, okay, you're gonna score buckets. Harden's gonna get a lot of people involved, and everybody's gonna be scoring. But can you stop anybody on the other side of the court? And that's gonna be the issue. Like, yeah, you did get Keon Ellis and you did get Dennis Schroeder, who's a bit better defensively as guards, but those guys are coming off the bench.
Right.
You're going to be starting a game with Harden and Donovan Mitchell, and opposing teams are going to see that backcourt, and they're going to be like, it's barbecue chicken. So that's the issue right there for me. It's the fact the point of attack defense is going to be terrible with those two guys in the backcourt, but I think offensively, it can work out for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I think they just solved like one problem, but they still have plenty of others. Like, one thing is Garland's kind of passive, and like you've seen in the playoffs, like Donovan Mitchell is doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
like all the heavy lifting, and I think they solved that problem. But defensively, they did nothing. Like they got Keon Keon Ellis, but how many of those point guards are you gonna play at one time?
Yeah. So you're gonna be looking at it like us. Play 3 guards from the bench at once. No, we need one in the starting lineup. That's how it works. That's how it works. Oh man.
Harden and Donovan Mitchell and take turns shit in the bed and choking the playoffs.
Oh my gosh.
It's your turn to choke. Now it's your turn to choke.
I'm gonna fall back from that. From the never mind. Yeah, never mind. I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of
I hate a
there.
little bit on the ops, you know.
Oh my gosh. That joke could turn back. All right, cool. All right. So wait, so you all agreed they kind of got better, but kind of got worse at the same time.
Yeah,
You don't know where it's gonna go. You don't know where it's gonna go.
It's like you fix one thing, but then by fixing that one thing, another thing is leaking. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're trying to fix a leak, and then it's like, yeah, you fix a leak in this area, but it's still leaking on that area.
Is James Harden a better defender than Darius Garland?
No. I don't think so.
Nah.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, man. This is gonna be interesting. What else is gonna be interesting is this damn Boston deal. All right, because the Chicago Bulls traded center Nikola Bulls. This is another person where I felt like this dude has been in trade rumors for like 7 years straight. I never thought I would see the day.
His entire career.
So, ever since he was in Chicago, I felt like he was in a trade rumor. Like ever since he got traded there.
That was like one of the worst trades. That was one of their worst trades.
Yeah, but he gets traded to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons. Like I don't know, the Chicago Bulls got another point guard, Anthony. I don't know. All right, they got to flip somebody at some point for Anthony Simons and a 2nd round pick, which kind of gives the Boston Celtics like the stretch big they've been kind of wanting. Like that's kind of been their formula, you know. Stretch big, so they can play 5 out and try to do things that way. It doesn't give you the defense that the other stretch bigs has had, but it's at least they have some 3-point shooting. I guess somebody can stretch the floor and post and give an offensive punch. Well, what do you guys think of that move for the Celtics?
I think it's awesome for the Celtics. Fixes their cap situation long term. You get Vucevic for this year. He's making a lot of money, but who doesn't say that he resigns next year for less if he likes Boston?
Right.
So I think they set themselves up for when Jason Tatum comes back next year. And put a decent showing on this year. I think they could be dangerous in the first round, but I think it sets them up for when Jaylen Brown comes back. They're back contenders.
Yeah, you mean Jason Tatum? I got you. All right. What you think, Ryan?
Well, I think for me, Vucevic is going to help from the standpoint of like, yeah, stretch 5. Celtics like to play 5 out. So I think from that standpoint, he's going to help their team. They needed a big, so I think he's going to help them. He's going to, of course, give them size, and he's going to help them rebounding and things of that nature. So I think offensively, he's a big get for the Celtics. But the thing is, during the championship year when they had KP was at least solid defensively, and he protected the rim. And they're not going to have that with Vucevic. So that's the issue right there. But I do think Mazzulla as a coach is a very good coach, and I think that he's going to probably scheme the defense to where, Vucevic won't be exposed like that on the defensive side of the ball. So I do think overall it is an upgrade for the Celtics getting Vucevic, and he should help them.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it makes them a championship contender this year because they don't have Tatum. But, I think going forward, I think it's a good pickup for them.
Agree with Ryan and Fritz. The one thing I'll add on Boston's side, since you guys covered most of the great points, is that he finally has a chance at a championship. For the first time in his career, he can really win one next year. when Tatum comes back and is healthy. So you have to imagine this being the last year of his deal. He'll probably re-sign to a team-friendly situation because he's aware that he's playing for something for the first time ever, which he didn't do in Orlando or Chicago. On Chicago's side, Anthony Simons is a top 5 bum in the NBA. That guy is statistically a top 5 worst starter in the NBA. Look at all the advanced analytics: defensive bots plus minus, offensive bots plus minus, Raptor, VORP, any stat the stat nerds draw over, he is absolutely vomit worthy. He is ineffective. He's too dumb to be a point guard or lead guard, and he's not still enough to be a shooting guard. He is good on ball or off ball. There's a reason that he was traded to the Boston Celtics, and Celtics looked at him and was like, nope, this is not championship level player. They really don't do Vucevic, who, as Ryan said, is a triple X size cone, but at least gives you offense, high IQ, and elite passing at the perimeter. He's an excellent dribble handoff distributor. He's someone who made guards play better. Anthony Simons has made anyone play better, including himself. Looked at the stats. One of the worst advanced analytics players, point blank, period. So to me, he's out. I think he's going to be someone who they either going to be stuck with long term, or they have to attach significant draft capital to get off his contract.
Oh, he's expiring.
Oh, even better.
He's expiring.
He'll be on a mid-level exception next year. No one has signed him to a long-term deal.
I could definitely see that. I see some Knicks fans are kind of afraid to play Detroit and the Celtics, and like I'm actually excited to play them. I'm maybe like I don't understand this. Maybe it's just I don't know, man. This era of competition, of lack of competition, is like weird to me. Where everybody's scared to play people, everybody wants to team up, and this is like I like beating the best and saying our team beat the best team. I hate when I beat a team and they're missing players or we're missing players. I hate that too much. So the fact that these guys got extra pieces now to play with and we're gonna play them, I like that. I'm excited because I want to be like, yes, we beat them too, and what? You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, cool. The Celtics got Vujicic. That's cool. All right. Pistons got Herder. All right, bring it on. Let's see what we got.
Yep.
The cream rises to the top, and we beat those guys. It's even more of a stepping stone and more of a bravado for us. That says we beat these guys who added a big piece. So I'm for it, man. I'm not scared. Don't be scared, man.
The New York Knicks went out and got Dylan Jones, baby.
Leon
Rose stays cooking, bro. Don't sleep.
Don't sleep. Stay woke. Okay. Oh man. Oh yeah. But man. But yeah, I feel like those are all the big trades that have happened recently. I don't know if you Lee, because Lee's our KOT insider. I don't know how you've been hearing any speculatory stuff. This is things that are speculatory. There's nothing concrete. It's just things that he might have heard somewhere that could be happening or not be happening.
2 other trade targets I want to mention that I have not heard any rumors or whispers on, but they appear to be decent gets for us, would be Taylor Hendricks, who is also in Memphis now. He went over there from the Utah deal. He's on a $6 million deal. He's averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 34% from 3, 22 years old, 6'9", 45% from the field. He's got 1 year on his deal next year. Solid piece, first round pick, switchable defender, no playoff experience, but I think he's someone that we should at least consider because of his size of the contract and the upside. And then also George Nain. He's kind of dollar store Shamet, 6'6". Right now, he's averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds, shooting 40% from 3, 45% from the field. He's on an $8 million deal. I can see him get bought out. And if he's bought out, to me, he's above Mike Conley as a target. Now, I haven't heard any whispers of this, but 2 names to consider for guys to potentially be targets, one a trade, one free agent. Yeah, man, Giannis ain't coming. I would say right now, I'll be honest, it's changed. There's a point I heard Golden State was in the lead. There was a point yesterday when Miami Heat were in the lead. Today, the Minnesota Timberwolves passed all of them. That's why you saw the extra moves they made to clear space to make sure they could absorb him. And I don't think they're done with Giannis either. I think you're going to see another move happen as well to try bringing a better lead guard to run that team. So it's not Dante DiVincenzo at lead guard. You can even see him being moved. But the package will be centered around Jay McDaniels is going to be the big piece. And sadly, Randall, which makes you think, how the hell is Randall enough for Giannis salary-wise with Minnesota, but not New York? That's frustrating. But yeah, he's not coming to New York. Even though Bart Stein, everyone's reporting, hey, the New York Knicks are still, it's changing trade negotiations and going back and forth. That's true, but we had no shot. It's going to be Miami or Minnesota. I'm hearing Golden State also has no shot now too, that it's went down to those two teams. So it makes you, as I said on the pod earlier, we got to have a referendum this summer if we don't win the chip and really look at Leon Rose's body of work and decide, has he been a great GM, a good GM, a decent GM? And I think his career the legacy will depend solely on that Mikal Bridges trade and giving up 5 first-round picks and paying the Knicks tax to bring in the best friend of Jalen Brunson or one of them and not saving that for a bigger star down the line. Will it end up helping us win a chip or not? That's to be decided. But there will be a referendum, I think, in the next 2 years if we don't win it. Other than that, man, it's all quiet in the Western Front. Jose Alvarado, yes, Missy, definitely still hearing those 2 guys are big-time targets. Haven't heard anything on Saddiq Bey as a real target. I think the logistics of the financial situations just make it untenable. It's not a real situation. But there's very little chatter happening Knicks-wise. My contacts aren't really like heavy Knicks either. It's more the rest of the league. But I'm hearing players that have been on the Knicks radar, so at least the fan radar, they ain't coming. I just expect the very bottom of the barrel buyout move, if anything. I think that's what we have to live with. And then hopefully this summer, as Fritz has been repeating, if we get 2 first-round picks become available, that's when we can upgrade the roster. But it will take, as he also says, one of our favorite 7 core players.
Not the core 7. Yeah. Not the core 7.
Probably
I'm a big fan of Taylor Hendricks as well, but since he just got traded, he can only be traded 1 for 1. So
we don't have a contract.
What's that?
We wouldn't have a contract as Yabu makes 5.5 and he makes 6.
Yeah, too little. So it would have to be Mitch or higher.
Oh hell no, and he's not getting bought out. So he's not buying.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's like one of those players. Like he has some real talent.
Yeah.
I feel you. Okay. Well, this is why Fritz is on the program. Huh?
George Nang, come on down. Hey, that's not bad though. That's not a bad pickup. He's a dog. Like, remember when he told Grimes you'd be in the corner if Joel Embiid was bad? I like that. I like his personality. He's also got a ton of playoff experience, just like Slow-Mo. It's not a bad move, y'all.
I'm not. Listen, I'm open. I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open. Go ahead. Go, Fritz.
Yeah, I really just want the Knicks to get their 15th player on the roster. So you might have to do some shuffling around. But even looking at 2-ways, like we just picked up a nice 2-way.
Dylan Jones.
Dylan Jones. We just picked up as a 2-way. I'm looking at Suns. I really want Kobe Bryant from the Suns because he should have been a Knick this summer. He kind of reminds me of Shamet, where he can play. He's a shooting guard that can play point guard, that can play defense, and he's like a knockdown shooter. Like that's someone who should have been a Knick this summer, but wasn't a Knick this summer. And like if the Knicks rummage through the two-way pile and they make just enough of a salary slot, they can get that 15th player. So that's what I'm really hoping the Knicks make some shrewd moves. If we have to get Yabu out of here, which we're all hoping, that there's enough for a 15th player, and they use that 15th roster spot wisely.
I want to bring something up since we have the 4 of us here, and we don't always have Fritz on the post-game show, and also because it's coming from someone who's probably our number 1 donor in terms of super chats. I wanted to bring this comment up by Gamer Channel, who is usually one of our most optimistic fans. He says, "Fire Leon and hire Masai Ujiri. I'm out on Leon Rose. He can't get the top 5 player and won't ever get any free agents. His talent is finding players from other teams that can be stars. he has said a variation of this comment about 4 or 5 times in the chat. So I thought it's worth bringing up and just trying to get a general temperature check on how we feel, agree or disagree.
Disagree.
Your jury hasn't done anything special. Like, you jury literally was just like literally playing what you call it, what they were doing in Philly, where they were just collecting picks. He wasn't doing anything special.
He got the ring in with the Raptors and then peaced out. But listen, Leon has been here for 5 years. We were in the freaking doldrums before Leon got here, man. I don't know if you guys remember how bad it was, but we were perpetually historically bad for years. And Leon got us out of the doldrums. He got us from missing the playoffs, 17 wins, to getting Tibbs here, riding the ship, making the playoffs every year since pretty much he's been here almost. Got our cap right, got a staff right. So it's like, even if in 5 years, even with his mistakes, I feel like we're not in a place where I feel like even though even with his mistakes, we're not in a place where we're like, damn, we're like set back for 20 years or 20, like how I was. Of course, the championship is always the goal, for sure. But championship is hard, man. The NBA, it's really hard to get a championship in the NBA. It's probably one of the hardest fields to get a championship. So I'm not on some fire Leon Rose next season if we don't get a chip thing. That, to me, that's like a little bit too far for me. That's way too far for me, considering where we came from and how competitive we've been. But I definitely feel like he deserves more time, especially if we end up going to like the ECF in the finals. I think he deserves more time for sure.
I'll say this: if I am to replace Leon Rose, it won't be with Masai Ujiri, because I think what people forget, and Jay said it perfectly, when Leon Rose took over, the Knicks were a bottom of the barrel team. The Knicks were not a good team. And although, yeah, we may not like his recent trades, like the Mikal Bridges trade, he gave up way too many picks for Mikal Bridges. We know that. The Cat trade, yeah, Cat didn't really fit in defensively with the unit that we had. We get that, but I don't really call those franchise-breaking trades, though, where it's like the Knicks have no chance to even become better than where they are at the moment. And even with those guys on the roster, the Knicks are not a bad team. The Knicks still have a pretty good team. And the Knicks do have a team that can still compete. Can they win a title with this team? It remains to be seen. Me personally, I don't think they can win a title with this team at the moment, but I do think that they can be competitive enough to at least make it out the East. So I wouldn't call that a complete failure. I would just call it, maybe he kind of mismanaged his assets a bit when he traded for Mikal Bridges and the Cat trade. I mean, you're not going to get it 100% right, but I do think that with everything that Leon Rose did for the team, or I should say for the organization, I do believe he deserves at least some type of leeway to see if he can get the team better, because we have to remember when the next postseason comes, it's going to be the Knicks are going to have more picks to work with, and maybe they make a move or two that helps the roster get further than they are at the moment, because I do think that even if the Knicks don't get Giannis, I wouldn't be surprised if Leon Rose has a plan B, plan C up his sleeve to try to improve the roster. I don't think it's just straight on. I don't think it's straight full Giannis and nothing else. I do think he probably has a plan B or plan C to try to improve the roster if the Knicks don't get to the championship. So I feel like overall, I think he's done enough to at least allow a couple mistakes and see if he can fix them. But of course, if he continues to make mistakes, then you have to let him go.
Yeah, this is the only year Leon hasn't leveled up so far. Like, But if the team goes further, then we've leveled up. Ujiri, like he had a very good team for a very long time. We're talking about after the championship. He had Scotty Barnes in the house. He had good players in the house. He just couldn't take the next step. Like he always wants to hit the home run in every trade, and that's just not realistic. And if he came to New York, where we're at a disadvantage, and he couldn't get the leg up on a trade, like nothing will get done. We'll be in the same spot. I think Leon has shown that he's leveled up every year.
Yeah, and I think that same Leon Rose fleeced a bunch of Masai Ujiri with the OG trade as well. So
Facts.
Yep. I think that Leon's best moves as a GM that changed our franchise was signing Jalen Brunson
Yes.
for pennies on a dollar. Everybody was mad about all the damn second round picks that came out that we traded, but it's like, well, all the picks that we traded, but it's like at the end of the day, we traded picks and got Jalen freaking Brunson for under market value. So how mad can you be? And then that OG trade. And those two moves set our franchise up for like multiple years. They get like that. Those two moves gave us like a 4-5 year window. So, like I don't understand people are upset because of the Macau stuff and the cat stuff, but it's like there was a lot of other moves. The Shaman move is probably the most underrated move.
Yeah.
Over the last few years too, because Shaman is pretty much Deuce number 2 for us right now.
I would add the iHeart signing.
Yeah.
And the
Dante too.
There's another the Josh Hart trade for Cam
The
Reddish.
Josh Hart trade.
Yep.
Those to me are the 4 best trades that he made. Also, I think re-signing Mitch was brilliant, and the deal he gave Deuce was brilliant as well. So, and the Colwitt deal could turn out to be brilliant as well. We'll see. There's a lot of time left on that one. I do think Gamer Channel, I understand the anger and the ire. I talked about this on the podcast too, and I think I'll land here. If we miss the ECF, there's a good case to fire him. If we get upset in the first or second round, there is a really good case to fire him, I think. And you fire him only if there's an upgrade out there. And to me, Masai Ujiri is not the upgrade, it's Bob Myers. If Bob Myers is willing to come to the Knicks and run the team, fire Leon's fat ass and bring in Bob Myers. Let's win this chip. Now, that's easy said than done. Will he? I don't know. I hope we make the finals and win the chip. I'm becoming more and more, not of a believer, but a little more optimistic than I have been the last couple of weeks with the level of the defense and the level of effort, no matter who we're playing. That's championship metal. That's championship mentality. And I respect that. I have to respect that. And I have to eliminate bias in order in how I judge what's in front of me. But if we did upset in the first round, definitely fire him. If we did upset in the second, there's a strong case. And I agree with that. I think Ryan did a great breakdown just now of the moves. The Mikal Bridges was absolutely a ass crack trade, in my opinion. He's never and will never be worth 5 picks. However, that is not Mikal Bridges' fault, and Mikal Bridges has played pretty well since he's been there. I separate how Mikal Bridges has played to the trade that brought him in. The trade that brought him in, we got fleeced. It wasn't worth it. We should have held on to the picks. But Mikal Bridges has delivered in playoff series defensively in the regular season and has been a pretty awesome playmaker and three-point shooter and mid-range guy for us. So I'm not going to deny that either. Both things can be true. I don't think as it is right now, he deserves to be fired. We have to just completely crap the bed in the playoffs in order for me to really rethink it, because that also would signal that Mike Brown choked as well.
And you know what, too? It's like one of those – and with Mikal Bridges, too, is one of those things if the Knicks win a championship, no one's going to care about the bids.
Facts. Ever.
If the Knicks win a championship, then it's bad. Then it's F those picks.
But it's TBD right now. It's TBD right now.
Right.
It is.
Right.
It's only fair to say that.
No, it's TBD right now. It's TBD right now because he started off the season. We're like, oh wait, he's amazing. This is the Mikal Bridges we thought he was going to get, and then he's kind of tapered off. But right now he's not giving you the offense, but like the defense that we wanted, he's giving you that. So it's like we'll see how this goes, and we'll see if this is enough to give us a chip. We'll see this Detroit game. I really want to see this Detroit game, yo. The Nuggets tomorrow and the Detroit game, when they're loading up on Jalen Brunson and forcing somebody else to make a play.
Cook.
this is when I want to see when if Mikal Bridges or actually OG Anunoby's been our third best player so far.
Yeah.
Or never mind. Scratch that. He's been our second best player.
Yeah. Yes.
So when that stuff happens, I want to see how the other guys step up, and that's going to make that's going to be a indication of how we handle other types of pressure when Jalen Brunson is being overloaded on.
Yeah, and I think that Nuggets game is unfortunate because I don't think Jokic will be playing in that game, from what I know. So
It's not.
I don't believe so. At least I think that's what I heard. I could be wrong. Is Jokic back yet?
Yeah, he played versus OKC the other game.
OKC.
Obviously I didn't watch the game today because of the.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I misheard because I could have swore I heard something like that. But
he played.
If Jokic is playing, I think that's a good test for the Knicks, the Nuggets, and the Pistons. If the Knicks perform well in both of those games and win, then I'm gonna be fully on board and be like, yeah, this team probably has what it takes to try to go for the title if they perform well both those games and they win.
I agree with Gamer Channel's comment here. This is what I've been saying too. I think the likelihood of us is finishing top 12 to top 14 in defense. If we can do that, even though that would be bucking the NBA history within modernity outside of the Nuggets, I think it's enough for us to win a chip. Because this crazy stat I dropped in the chat tonight, earlier today, y'all, we're the best fourth quarter defensive team in the NBA, like by a mile, which is insane. And we've been with the best defensive team in the entire NBA during this stretch. Like 88, the defensive rating, I'd say the early 90s black and blue Knicks level defensive rating. So if we didn't finish 12, 13, it will be accounting for that horrible stretch. Would be factored into that median rating, which could say if you didn't have that stretch, maybe you are a top 10 team. So that also would make me a believer as well.
Yeah, I think we could do 10, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
No.
I think we can do top 10. I don't even think it's that feisty.
Like, ooh, that's spicy.
I don't even think
it's that spicy. It's spicy.
Nah, because part of the reason why I was so pissed during that losing streak was we were giving up like 100 and whatever points a game, and then we would still be top 3 in fourth quarter defense. Even during the losing streak, we were top 3 in fourth quarter defense. So it's not shocking that to me that okay, we bunkered down defensively and now we're number 1 in fourth quarter defense. So if we've been coasting and then like all right, fourth quarter we shut it down and now we're the best fourth quarter team in the NBA. Like I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to be top 10. I think we can do it.
Man, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope I won't be wrong because that means chip.
Yeah, like that means it's a possibility. And for me, like I've always been if we end up 9th in defense at the end of the season, I'll give $100 super chat. That's funny. So I didn't say 9. I said top 10. But I'm going for 9, man. Let's go now.
Right now, the Knicks are 12th. The Knicks have climbed up that ladder. Right now, they're 12th in defensive rating. They climbed up that ladder.
I know, but this is 12th, and this is not even counting today's game because that's 12th coming from the games before, from the 6th game. It's not even counting the 7th game yet. But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. We'll see what's happening. Yeah, I think we do it, bro. I really do. And it's funny because I'm not Lee is the guy who's like championship in the beginning of the season, championship. Yep. This is the first year where I'm like, I think this is actually gonna happen. I feel like this actually. I know at least ECF finals can actually happen. I think we can be top 10 defense. I think we can.
It's funny. This is a year you've most been that way, and this is the first time in a long time I think we can do it with Cat at center. That would be a miracle if we can win a chip with Cat playing center every single playoff game.
But it's Josh Hart. Well, Josh Hart gotta be healthy too. It's Josh Hart playing better defense. It's Shamet being rotation playing better defense. It's Brunson being better? Is Cat even being better?
That's why I think it is. It's Cat.
Is Cat even being better? Like I think it's possible, man. I think
To
it's
me, the
possible.
championship depends on how did defense's Cat play for an entire finals run.
Yeah,
If he's average, we're winning.
that and when we bog down Brunson, when they bog down Brunson, can we score? That's the other part too. Because this is when we bog down Brunson, can we score? Because Brunson, because the other part of the other part of the streak has been what was the stat when Brunson shoots 20 shots
or less.
Yeah, 20 shots or less. We were like 18-2 or something like that. So it's like keeping the diversity, the offensive diversity, at the top of our minds at all times. Because ever since that losing streak, it seems like the ball has been moving and the shots have been more spread out. So if he's staying with that formula with the defense, I think we can make some noise. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right. Anything else?
I think Bacome had a really nice game today.
Oh, the G League?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Show off for your new team.
Don Tigers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Man. Learn Chinese, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. Any bro picks, Ryan?
Let me see. Do I have any bro picks in the stash? Let me see. Do I have any bro picks in the stash? I probably do. But if anyone have a bro pick, they can go first.
Bro picked the John Morant. Memphis is already saying they're going to lower the asking price for him. So,
damn,
and he might have traded for a bag of chips.
Damn.
The crazy thing is, he could end up going somewhere like, hypothetically, say Miami gets Giannis, then they trade a bunch of like Terry Rozier and pieces for Ja. Now it becomes scary, right? Ja is a third option.
Yeah,
very different than Ja running the team in Memphis. So that's, I think, the only way he can reclaim his career is if he goes to a team that's a contender and he has to slide into a third spot with less pressure and more stretcher. But as a first option, man, he is cooked. Oh, unbelievable stat I read, y'all. Every single lottery pick from the 2018 draft has been traded. Now Jaron Jackson Jr. was traded.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every single one.
That's crazy.
And I also read, this one I don't know is true. That one I know is true. I also read that every single draft pick from 2018 is no longer on their team, but Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, I already heard that one. I knew.
Every single player is no longer there. That is crazy.
I heard that one. I knew already. Mitchell Robinson is the only one still there from the Scott Perry days. Everybody else is gone. That's why I never trade Mitch, man. Hold on to the legacy. And then it's been hopefully, and then it's like him and Deuce, but Robinson is the oldest, huh?
What I was saying, every player from the 2018 draft.
Oh, 2018 draft. Oh,
every player that was drafted is no longer on their team.
Oh, shoot.
That's except for Mitch. Mitch is the only one.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That one I didn't have verified. I did verify the lottery one. Every lottery pick's been traded. But the other one, man, that's right. Wow. What a draft.
That's crazy. That's just okay.
Yeah. Also, Sacramento Kings, they get a bruh pick.
Oh,
that trade they did was horrible. Not only they could have traded Keon Ellis this summer. Every team in the NBA wanted Keon Ellis this summer, and you basically traded him and got no picks back. Like that was one of the worst trades I've seen.
I agree with you.
They really tanked his value, man. Like I feel like everybody wanted him last year. I mean, it's still one of them, and for him not to get any picks back is kind of wild. That's damn. Ninja P, what happened?
I was gonna say, is Scott Perry cooked?
It seemed like it.
And he might be. He might be.
Oh, and Fritz, I'm so glad you answered that question that B asked in the group chat about if DeMar DeRozan was bought out, can he be signed by the Knicks? And your answer was no because of how much he made prior.
Mm. Yeah,
That
that's
would be
going.
unbelievable if we could, though.
Yeah, it would be unbelievable. But unfortunately, that's not happening.
He could go to an op, though.
That would suck.
Imagine him in Detroit.
I don't even think about that. I would actually be
Oh,
nervous.
shit.
That move would actually make me nervous. I'm not gonna hold you. That move would actually make me nervous. Mm.
I ain't got no broad pick, but I do have a ooh pick though, because I just found out that our captain, Jalen Brunson, won Defensive Player of the Game tonight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, how many charges did he have? He had like 4 charges. Yeah, when you got that many charges, man, I guess you win the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, of the game. His first. How many? Okay, Gamer Channel. I got another super chat challenge for you. If Jalen Brunson gets 4 Defensive Player of the Game, you donate $100.
Got 1 down, 3 to go.
Oh man, I doubt he wins 4. That'd be crazy. All right, all right, yo. Yeah, I think that's it, man. You did a good job. You did it. Great show, guys. Glad to have you here. I think you did a good job. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. It is Black History Month, so I'm gonna get my one black fact before we get out of here. All right. So my one black fact today is everybody already knows about the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers were categorized as a terrorist group from America when they famously stood up to the police with their shotguns in an open carry state and took a picture. They were kind of categorized as a terrorist group, but really they were just trying to protect Black people from being mauled by the police. But the one thing I want to say about the Black Panthers is that there's one thing that they did that now everybody in America reaps the benefits of, and that is their free breakfast for children policy. They were asking the government for help, and the government wouldn't give them help, so they actually fed thousands of children free breakfast every morning for school. And the government not wanting to be undone and feeling embarrassed that this young group has done something for the community that they couldn't, they then adopted free breakfast programs for schools across the nation. So shout out to the Black Panthers for affecting America with their agenda. It's funny now that probably would be considered a socialist agenda back in the, if that was to happen right now, but now it is an American staple to have free breakfast. So keep that in mind too. Like some things that seem like radical socialisms, like socialist agendas, like Social Security, at one point is now if you take that away, you would scream bloody murder. But like if the rich are getting all these tax breaks and all these all this free money for things, they can be kicked back to help the community. That's why other nations like China are kicking their ass, because they're actually taking the money and upgrading society. But yeah, that's it, man. Happy Black History Month. All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Lee, let me know where you find you, sir.
During Black History Month, I'm gonna give everyone a black band to go listen to. Today is Death Grips, one of my favorite outfits in the entire world. Loud, noisy, obnoxious, aggressive, just like me. They're a mixture of experimental music, punk music, my favorite genre, and then hip hop. It's just like noisy, grimy, lo-fi beats, and the rapper MC Ride rapping about politics, mostly criticizing U.S. foreign policy and domestic policy, which also I love the political bend as well. They've been on and off band, but they're coming back recording a new album supposed to drop this year. One of my favorite bands of all time, Death Grips. And also breaking news: James Harden requested a trade out of Cleveland.
No, you're lying.
No. You did?
No.
Oh,
no, but it's believable. That's the place he goes. Like clockwork, he wants out when he's had enough.
Oh my god!
Yeah, man. Find me on Twitter @_Leescobedo, LEEESCOBEDO. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Jay, for trusting me to hold down the fort, and thank you all 700 people and over almost 2K people on YouTube that have watched the trade deadline breakdown. It makes me want to do more of these type of shows, and I will be going live Thursday for the breakdown. If the Knicks do something tomorrow, I'll go live as well. So appreciate the support that you guys gave me during that show.
All right, salute. Yes, shout out to the 10 new subscribers that I subscribe to the channel as well.
Hell yeah.
We are now at 9,945, I think. What are we at? What's the numbers again? I forgot the numbers, guys. I forgot the numbers. How many subscribers do we have again? Let's see. Where do we at?
9,045.
9,045 subscribers. All right, we're on a road to 10,000 subscribers. We just hit 9,000 in January, so we're already up to 9,045. Let's get to 10,000. All right. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. I think there's like 300 people on Twitter right now watching.
Yeah, 420 total.
Yeah, 320 people on Twitter watching. Is 45 in the YouTube chat. So if you guys are feeling the show and feeling the banter and the talk, head on to youtube.com/NickTimeShow. Hit that subscribe button. And we're here after every game talking Knicks basketball. Today, we talk a lot more about trades and stuff than the Wizards because we already know. Y'all didn't want to deep dive about the Wizards. We knew that already. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. All right. Fritz, let them know where you can find you, sir.
Fritz handles on Twitter. I do have my show, NBA Economy Show. So yeah, we'll be going live before the trade deadline. I'm hoping to join Lee on Thursday. So please tap in Thursday afternoon. We are going to be live at the trade deadline. Let's see where Yabu is going to be hanging out.
Hey, if y'all know, me and Fritz got good 1-2 punch chemistry, man. We're developing our two-man weave, me and Fritz.
Absolutely. Those two are really great, especially when it comes to the trade deadline stuff. Yeah, gotta watch those guys. All right, cool. Ryan G, let them know they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
There's SIR. G is CHILLIN. And yes, will Yabu be on another team in the NBA or will he be in Europe? Let's find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, well, on that note, that is our show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, it's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.